Well, here I am having my morning cup of coffee, a little bit late for me. I had different plans. I had actually planned this morning to go out to the Valley de Guadalupe because it's clearly going to be a very sunny day, which is why my curtains are closed still because it's only about 10 o'clock in the morning and I don't want the house to get really hot. But I realized once I reached the Riviera where I was going to, and I did, took the dog for a walk. It's really nice to walk there. I've done videos about it. I realized I didn't have my phone with me. I'm not going to the mountains and the valley without my phone. I'm going to come back home. So here I am. You know, one of the things I really enjoy about living in Mexico is the vibrancy. It just vibrates in a way that I really enjoy. I've always found, one of the differences are the United States really, it's a priority to have privacy. It's a priority to have privacy, and everything should look very, very clean. I mean, I had a home in Pennsylvania where they fined you if you let the grass get too high, or if I don't know, weeds or something. I would go, oh, you got to do that. That doesn't happen in Mexico. It doesn't happen in Mexico. But it's very vibrant, and also there are lots of little shops, which we also don't have in the United States because they made a lot of laws. A friend of mine's mother got arrested when she was in her 70s. She used to sell goat cheese. She had goats, and they were really for her, I mean, for her health. And I used to buy her goat cheese, and I will swear on a stack of whatevers that her kitchen was a horrible mess. It was a horrible mess. If you would ever see her kitchen, you would go, There used to be dirt in the bottom of the jars of goat's milk I would buy from her. Now, I'm still here. I'm still here. Nothing ever happened to me. Our systems are a lot stronger than we think they are. And she was arrested because she actually made a big mistake. The health food store in this small town where I used to live, Fallbrook, California, not so small anymore, wanted to sell her cheese. And so she would bring in she didn't make a lot of it, I don't know, maybe she made a couple of pounds. Anyway, one day they were there waiting for her and they arrested her, $10,000 bail, and they made her sell all her goats. So for her own use, she used to have to go to a friend's house to milk goats for herself. They don't have it here. They don't have that there. I buy eggs. I should really show you how. I buy a flat of eggs. They have not been washed. They've still got chicken poop on them. I feel like I shouldn't be telling you these things. The people go, what? I don't want to live there. Chicken poop on their eggs. True. It's true. I could buy them sanitized. We have a Smart and Final, and they come all wrapped up, and I guess I don't know if they're washed here. They don't have the poop on them. But they actually have the poop on them down the corner, like 11 blocks from me. I could walk there if I wanted to. That's my new thing. I actually walk 11 blocks out and in, 11 blocks to the ocean and back with my dog. Daily, almost daily. She had some sort of dirt or something in her eye, and it was horrible. It was horrible. I thought, oh my God, this time she's done it. This time she's done it. She wouldn't let me put drops in, and she was always pawing it. Well, finally, she did let me put drops in, and now she's fine. She's taking a nap over there. Maybe I can show you what she looks like. I don't know. Did you get her? Did you get her? There she is, taking a nap. There she is, taking a nap. So, I'm the only one that worries. She doesn't worry when something like that happens. I think, oh my God, something's horrible. She's going to be blind. In fact, I'd stopped to get some water. We buy garrafons of water here. And like my hand, I'm trying to get this not to fall over. I'm really professional. It's so professional what I do. Back to the vibrancy. So, even that. Of course, I wash after I crack the shells open. And I only use the egg whites. I save the yolks for my friends who help me out. I have a couple that comes on Mondays and they help me out. They're friends of mine. And they clean the house and they clean the outside. It's not that I can't clean my house. I can clean my house, but I'll tell you what I can't do. I can't mop the floor. And I've been able to mop the floor for 10 years because it is really hard on your back to mop a floor. And she's young. She's still only in her 40s. She can mop the floor. Those are luxuries that I have here. I've talked about the luxuries I can have in Mexico. That I can have luxury. I can have my hair washed and blown out every week. I actually have naturally curly hair. You wouldn't know it to look at it, would you? I don't do my nails. I really am a big believer in not putting nail polish on my nails. Don't ask me why. Well, do ask me why. I just think it's unhealthy. I mean, people gluing things on my nails. I did it like once or twice, and I went, "This is horrible." I felt like there were weights on my fingers, so I don't do that. Um, well, the other luxury, which I was going to enjoy this morning, was to drive to the Valley de Guadalupe and probably have some breakfast out there. But here I am with my coffee, and it's just as good because I just drove home. Sometimes the vibrancy, particularly to people from the United States, is annoying. You know, I have a neighbor who just seems to, and I know he has a job, but I guess some days he doesn't. Just seems to be whenever I go out on my deck to have my lunch, I suddenly hear, I mean, completely quiet as it is now. They'll be like, I don't know what kind of music it is, very loud. I don't want to, I don't know what it is, hip hop, rap, I don't know, because I stopped paying attention to music, names of performers somewhere in the 1980s, somewhere around disco. I stopped. I went, I don't want to know anymore. I don't want to care. I don't want to know anymore. I know what I like. I like Steely Dan a lot. Got any Steely Dan fans? So that's, I can't recommend or not recommend. I know a lot of people out there saying, I moved to Mexico and it's really, really wonderful, or I moved to Mexico and I really hated it. I have been here now since 2012. I have lived in different communities. I lived originally in expat communities, which I think if you don't have a lot of Spanish and you're just starting out, probably a good move. However, we Americans charge each other more. That's all. Mexicans are appalled when they hear how much rent we pay or how much we paid for a house. They go, whoa, they would never do that. So that's what I did discover, that we don't give each other a break. Right now, I'm looking for a chafing dish. I'm going to give a party, by the way, on July 5th. I'm giving a party for the neighbors who I talk to. I don't talk to every neighbor on my block because they're not around, or they belong to a religion that doesn't talk to strangers. I'm not going to name what it is because I don't want people to hate me. Anyway, I'm going to enjoy my coffee and talk more about the vibrancy of Mexico, where you can, I just feel, I knew the minute I moved here, even in an expat community, I felt freer. It felt to me like the late 1960s, early 70s. There's just not a lot of gotcha. The police are not cruising along looking for a tail light that's out, or did you go through the stop sign? By the way, almost everybody goes through a stop sign. That's another thing I'll talk to you about, Mexican drivers. I'll just mention here that Mexicans are wonderful and they're helpful and they're just delightful in every way, except when they drive. Then they turn into assassins, and it's every person to themselves, even women. Even women. Hope you're having a terrific Sunday. I know there's a lot crazy. Ignore it. Because you know why? We are on a planet moving through space at, I think, 1,600 miles per hour, but I don't know how fast. Look up at the stars. The closest one you see is 14 million light years away. Get a clue. We're on a planet. This is not a permanent space, okay? It's moving through space. Space is expanding, and they think that the black hole is either sucking us in or that we are actually in a black hole. Think about that.